Hi everyone, welcome to Follow Your Heart here on the Natural Parent Magazine. I'm Cullen, and today I'm talking about sleep training. Now, for those of you that don't already know what sleep training is, it's really based on the idea that babies need to be taught to sleep, and that if you have a baby who's a frequent waker overnight, that you need to teach them to link their sleep cycles or not need you or another adult to help them get back to sleep. This could be at nap times as well, that baby is supposed to be laid in bed and learn that that's sleep time and that they then get themselves off to sleep. So often sleep consultants or relatives or whoever are recommending that you leave your baby for certain amounts of time. There's all different kinds of ways that sleep training happens in different, places. Sometimes it equates to lots of crying. I've heard of babies vomiting and, people being taught to not respond in any way. Definitely no talking, no eye contact, no cuddles, no picking up, really being quite disconnected. And this is my problem, of course, because I'm all about connection. And, my business is connection-centered parenting, so it really doesn't sit well with me, and it's based on so much information. So as I've mentioned, you don't need to teach your baby to, or any child, to link their sleep cycles. Sleep isn't a taught thing, even if somebody tells you that it is. It's not. It's a thing that happens naturally in our development. Now, some of our children do not develop the ability to sleep without needing us for quite a long time. So in particular, those children, they can tempt us into doing things like sleep training, crying it out. And I was one of those parents who did try it out 14 years ago with my first son when he was 9 months old. And I did the classic leave him to cry, and he cried for about 45 minutes. It broke my heart, but I didn't go and respond to him. The next night, he only cried for about 20 minutes when he woke up, and I thought, yay, it's sort of working. The next night, he woke up again, and he only cried a teeny little bit, and then slept. And for a little while, I don't even remember how long, he actually was just fine, and he didn't call out to me at night. And as I said, this was around 9 months of age, and he was off in his own room. So that worked until it didn't, until he needed me again. Because your children will always have times, if they're that young, that they are going to need something. They're going to get sick. They're going to be teething. They're going to be too hot or too cold. And see, the problem with teaching you not to respond to your child is that you don't know what their need is. You don't know what their need is, and it's really important for you to be responding to your child. And I've heard some horrible, horrible stories about what parents have experienced. Both, finding out their child has a high temperature, walking into a baby who's not breathing, all kinds of horrible things. So we need to respond to our children. Doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. It's not okay to teach your child that you're not there for them at any time of the day. And remember, feeding and, having a full tummy and a dry diaper or nappy, that's not the end of their needs. Their need is also to be responded to have closeness, to have comfort. This is actually one of the most important needs that we as human beings have. And you need to develop that in your relationship with them. So when we decide that we're no longer going to respond to a child's needs, it might on the surface seem to work. They might, start calling out to us less, but it doesn't mean, and we know this from studies, it doesn't mean they actually sleep more, okay? It just means they're not calling out to you. Personally, for me, that's not what I recommend that you do. I recommend that your child is taught that you will respond to their needs day or night, sleep time, awake time, when you can, however you can, as best as you can. So if you have done sleep training or any cry it out and you're feeling like it did work, that's great, and there's no going back. But I just want us going forward to recognize it's not a necessary part of raising our children. It doesn't need to be an accepted part of raising our children. And there are other ways to get support and get help and change what's going on for you. So I know that people say, but I am desperate and I'm not doing well. And of course that's a problem. Of course you need to be coping. Of course you need to find ways to get rest and look after yourself. But it's not through sleep training. That's not the answer. So if you've done it like me and you feel guilty about it, get over the guilt. It's time to feel the guilt and move on and make different choices, make better choices. You have not caused irreparable damage to your child, so forgive yourself, be compassionate, realize that as always, you did the best you could at the time, or you're doing the best you can all the time. So it's okay. Treat yourself compassionately, forgive yourself, let go of that guilt after you let yourself feel it, and then do something different. Reach out for some different support, knowing there are people like me out here who will help you find ways that feel so much better and actually work better to maintain that relationship that you really want to develop with your child. So please follow your heart on this one and find a better way, find a different way. Until next time, please keep sending in your questions, sending in your comments, and I will do my best to respond to as many of them as I can. And tomorrow, of course, talking about gentle discipline, so tune in then. Bye, everyone.